Hey guys, today we're out here along the really popular Monon Greenway, a trail that you've probably ridden your bike on, taken your dog for a walk on, or gone for a run on. But the Monon hasn't always been this high traffic pedestrian trail, and it actually started as a railway. So let's go back to 1847. The New Albany and Salem Railway began construction in 1847, piece by piece, working to connect Indiana all the way across the state. We started by connecting big cities, so Michigan City to Lafayette and Bedford to Bloomington. And soon, by 1854, we had 300 miles of railway connecting the northern tip of Indiana all the way down to the mighty Ohio. As the popularity in this railway rose, it got a new name, the Louisville, Albany, and Chicago Railway, so the LNA&C. This quickly became a vital route going throughout Indiana, giving it the name the Lifeline of Indiana. Come Civil War times, 1861 to 1865, this railway proved just how important it was and was used to transport goods, Union soldiers, ammunition, and fuel. Just to show you how important this railway was, the Confederate soldiers coming up from Kentucky actually targeted it for destruction because they knew that was one way they could for sure get an advantage on the Union soldiers. The LNA&C was even part of Lincoln's funeral procession in 1865. Now, this took place from April 19th to May 3rd, moving from Washington, D.C. all the way over to Springfield, Illinois. The train was moving 5 miles an hour, and it utilized the Michigan City Lafayette portion of our LNA&C railway. Fast forward to 1880, when the LNA&C became very popular and actually crossed with the Chicago and Indianapolis Airline Railway. This little section of railway started to connect smaller cities along the LNA&C, creating our connection here in Carmel. This little intersection between the Chicago and Indianapolis Airline Railway and the LNA&C crossed through a small town called Monon, and hence our little section of railway in Carmel was nicknamed Monon. Monon actually has more meaning, and it is the Potawatomi word for swift running, which is an apt name for a railway back in the 1880s. With the new rail tracks in the Monon coming through Carmel, Carmelites had more advantages and ways to get out than ever. They could take the railway up north and head out to the west, or take it all the way down and cross over the mighty Ohio. The Monon Depot, which can still be found in Carmel today and is now a historic museum, was the hub for all of the goods and services and passengers that were coming in to Carmel via the Monon Railway. Many Carmelites like to take the train and go up to Chicago, where they could go out to eat, go see plays, walk around the big city, go shopping. And a really popular train ride for them was going to Chicago on the weekends, on Sunday night, getting that 11:55 train back down into Carmel and arriving just before 8 a.m. in the morning on Monday to make it back to work. But the hustle and bustle of the Monon did come with some tragedies, and one of the most notable was a car fire after the train had derailed and fallen into the creek up to modern-day Smoky Row. Now we're into the 1900s, where the Monon is mainly used as a passenger car, and it now connected 5 major universities: Purdue, IU, Butler, DePaul, and Wabash College. So I'm a Boilermaker, and I'm sure many of you Boilermakers and Hoosiers are aware of the old Oaken Bucket, which is a tradition where Purdue and IU come together, play football, and the winner gets a link in the chain, either a P or an I, of who wins. But DePaul and Wabash have a similar rivalry, and they call it the Monon Bell Classic. This is just showing you how important the Monon was back then. It's super similar to Purdue and IU's, where the football teams play each other and the winner gets the Monon Bell. In the 1950s, this section of the Monon was officially known as the Monon, and they adopted their new logo, which can still be seen when the Monon is advertised and on the trail today. Unfortunately, the Monon had lived its heyday, and by 1959 it was no longer taking passengers to and from Carmel. It was just running from Chicago down to Louisville. And come 1967, the Monon Railway and train cars had run their last passenger car. Bring us forward to 1999, when we are getting the Monon as we know it today. It became a rail trail back in 1999, and it was one of the first rail trails. It's actually been inducted into the Rail Trail Hall of Fame, and to be inducted into the Rail Trail Hall of Fame, you need to have scenic value, high use, amenities, historical significance, and excellence in management and maintenance. And we're still going to manage the Monon as a greenway today, living in its rich history, still using some of those same Monon signs that were from back in the rail heyday. If you guys like learning a little bit about the history of the Monon Railway, feel free to join me in the summer times. I do My Park series. This was actually one of those My Park series. They're free public hike programs where we dive deep into the natural history, or in this case, cultural history of our trails in our parks. So be sure to check those out in the summer program guide.